I am incredibly infuriated with decisions that Scopely have made in the last 24 hours. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it has me on the absolute verge of quitting this game. What am I talking about? Well, I am, of course, talking about their ridiculous decision to make Lilandra's Unlock incredibly free-to-play friendly. This message went out today. The Lilandra event is 10 weeks long, and all players can achieve a 7 yellow star Lilandra in 10 weeks if they regularly play the game. Those who participate in the Starjammer Showcase will earn shards faster and reach 7 yellow star sooner. We'll continue to address the feedback and questions on this topic if you have them. You might ask yourself, Dorky, this seems like an objectively good thing. Basically, a free, required character. Lilandra is a required character for Professor X. They said that. They said, look at this. Lilandra will be a requirement to unlock Professor X. And they're like, we're going to give her to you guys for free. What bullshit is that? Because, and I know you guys are confused. Don't worry, you're going to get there. We're going to get there together. I spent 2 hours today making a video, and it was a banger of a video. It was a good video outlining a bunch of strategies that I'm going to use to make sure that I have higher star levels, and I can make sure I get higher showcase value, engagement from the showcase to get a higher land. And I was going to give you guys that information. And you were able to go super far with the Lilandra stars. And they're just like, no, we're just giving it to everybody. Just relax. Like, it's fine, guys. Just relax. And like, fuck you, okay? Because I spent 2 hours making that video, and I had it uploaded to YouTube, and I was about to hit enter. I was hovering the button when this video was great. This was a 60-minute video, which means it took me about like an hour to set up, and then I had to talk it through, which was 15 minutes, and then I was like, that was shit. I had to do it again. Like, this is garbage, okay? And they have to come out, the audacity to be like, no, guys, don't worry about it. You're just gonna get it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All right, now that everyone who clicked on the rage thing, I want to talk about this, okay? Because this is kind of great. This is kind of great. And there's still a lot from that video that I want to relay to you guys, but I thought it was super funny because Scopely has this habit of like putting out information, and then like I make a video on it, and then they tell us why it's not as shit as what my video is trying to talk about. And then I'm like, but my money's... They're trying to save us monies on this character. It's a good thing. All right, let's talk about this. This is from last year, March 27th, 2024. Professor X. So the Age of X began April 2024. They said it was going to be a year-long journey to the answer to these questions. So we are expecting Professor X to be either at the end of March or in like April of 2025, which is just a few months away, which is why I want to make this video, because I think it's important that we do start preparing for Professor Xavier, and I think there's a lot of information out there that can help us shape our design with that, starting with the level cap. So recently, as you guys all know, we did get a level cap increase. Lots of people are racing to 105 because there are insane benefits to leveling your characters, including an event that's currently running. Let's go look at that real quick. I probably should have turned this off. Boom. All right, so the event that's currently running that we are getting benefits for leveling is obviously the race to 105. If we level up a certain amount of characters, we're going to get red stars on Omega Red, all the other good stuff. You all know this. I don't want to waste too much money on this, okay? Too much money on this. Too much time. I'm still in my head about that fucking wasted video. Jesus Christ. I'm not pushing on this event anymore. I need to save my gold. There's going to be a billion reasons to save your gold when we start finding what is actually needed for Professor X. And if I just level up all my characters to try and get through this event, like these gold orbs, these mega gold orbs, unless you hit the jackpot, it's not going to kind of recoup your losses that you might need that gold for something else. Furthermore, like, why do I care to get the 5th yellow star on my Omega Red Phoenix horse when I do not have that 5th red star? Did I say yellow star? I confused those. Why do I care about getting the 5th red star if I don't have the 5th yellow star? He's an epic character, so he's going to be shelved for quite a long time. So I don't care to push this milestone. What I get will be what I get, and that is what it is. Then it comes down to events. Events are giving us a lot of experience. So people trying to push to get to level 105 super fast by using cores in campaigns, showcases, all that kind of stuff. It's so unnecessary. This is about the 4th event that we've had that has awarded commander experience. And like the free-to-play side, let's just say I only get to this, right? This is the monthly item. This is where you can typically expect to get free-to-play. So there's 1,500 I'm still going to get. We're going to assume I don't get the 2,000, though that might be extremely possible. So we'd have 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 experience. This is a day and a half of free experience that we kind of calculated we need to earn with using cores. And this is like the 4th event of this kind. And they're doing leaderboards that give experience and all that. Like there's zero reason to core for experience. There's other reasons to core, like certain events and stuff like that. If we go back to the website for a second, milestones, right? There are, if I could actually open it, there are milestone reasons to push here. So we're going to need to actually finish up these milestones, which require us coring the Liberty showcase in order to get this Invasion of the Gods milestone points, which is going to feed into other stuff. So there's still a reason to core a little bit for energy, for events and stuff like that, but otherwise it's just completely unnecessary. And the reason I want to save on my cores is because I want Lilandra's Starjammer teams to be as high as possible. Now, we did get debunked. The whole heart and soul of that video was just like, I'm going to skip this, I'm going to skip that, because I want my Starjammers to be the highest stars possible so I can excel in the showcase, which presumably give me higher shards. They said, Darky, you're dumb, we're just giving her away. That's still the good news, right? But I still want to save my cores for the Starjammers and for events that are going to happen during this time, because their wording is very crystal clear, okay? All players can achieve a 7 yellow star. The fact that they use all players, first of all, cap, because if we need to do Cosmic Crucible, players under level 65 literally cannot do Cosmic Crucible, so you're wrong, but we're going to pretend that doesn't happen, that doesn't exist, okay? All players can achieve a 7 yellow star means that there's not going to be whatever input is needed for the Lilandra event is going to be in leaderboards. It's not going to be that case because they use the words all players can, all right? And then they use the words, the verbiage, if they regularly play the game. Sorry, I know my big ass head is hiding it. Now it's too small to read. If they regularly play the game. This means monthly meta event items, because that's what they tailor those events around. What does regular play get you? It's supposed to get you the monthly meta item. It's not buried in the whalestones. All right, so that means with all this kind of stuff, we're gonna need to core probably a little bit, but not a crazy amount, which means our cores are kind of our own. So with the knowledge that I have that Lilandra is going to be a needed character for Professor X, and the fact that we're going to be getting high stars on her, that tells me that this Starjammer team, that if the rumors are to be believed, has 2 reworks, Rocket and Groot, then I only need 2 new characters. This team is going to be for Cosmic Crucible, which is a mode I value infinitely more than War, and basically raids too. I don't give a shit about raids. You lower star characters can get raids done. I care about Crucible. I'm still going to save my cores for the Starjammers that are coming. Again, because if the kit leaks are to be believed, depending on the speed, this team could be a solution to Odin Illuminati, like a real solution to Odin Illuminati for Crucible. Because yes, Phoenix Force can help you get through that team with characters like Mephisto, Apocalypse, Black Knight, and Echo. But there's ways to counter that counter. And also, if you are a little poor boy like me, then you probably are going to have a 4 red, 4 yellow, Omega Red at max by the end of this event, right? And that there's just like a limiting factor when it comes to that. So I'm going to go hard on the Stargems for that reason. And I feel like I can do that because they just nerfed the shit out of War, in my opinion. Let's get into it. Okay, so just very quickly, we're going from 3 wars per week to 2 wars per week. Some people might argue, and I think there's actually like a mathematical reasoning behind this, that if we go down to 2 wars per week, that makes each war more important, which does make your war teams actually performing what you need them to do more important to be consistent, right? So that could mean that like, hey, you want your Liberty team to be more consistent than it otherwise would be because you only have 2 shots per week instead of 3. I don't look at it from that lens. I look at it from the lens of, I like to play with my toys. I like to play the wars. So for me, going from 3 wars per week to 2 wars per week means I am losing 33% of value in the fun aspect. that I would normally have with War. So Liberty takes a huge hit for me. And if we just look at like the playtests we had for Liberty, they did not look super impressive when they were punching across in a series. Like they get destroyed by Astral. But even other matchups, like with Mephisto Orcus, like that one became very sketchy. Actually, it was a loss because of revives and stuff. And that was with Patriot, Peggy, and Falcon, Peggy, and Patriot at 7 yellow, 7 red. I was never going to get them that high anyway. So to me, like just skipping them makes a whole lot of sense now. And this is where I made a big mistake. This is what kind of fueled me to make the video I made earlier today that I had to scrap. And that was I did drop about 4,000 cores on top of Peggy Carter. And I ended up with 42 shards, which is fine. Because like normally I would just keep coring her till I get the unlock. See, I can already do 3 more core orbs for her. Maybe I get lucky. I get a couple of blues. I get her unlocked. Maybe I don't. But now that I have more information regarding Professor X, I'm just simply not interested in doing that whatsoever. I would much rather keep my cores for the Starjammer team. It just makes more sense for me to keep going for the Starjammer team. But we have even more information than that, okay? This is from their early 2025, what do they call it? Preview, and there's more stuff about Professor X. So, Age Professor X. Shrike Psychics are reporting that the final push to recruit Professor X to your roster will involve a release method with 60 plus mission nodes, with increasing difficulties, each with various trait requirements and mean red-eyed baddies. Okay, so there's going to be 60 mission nodes. That is times 3 what normal Dark Dimensions are. Dark Dimensions have historically been, with Odin being the one exception, it occurs when we get a level cap increase, which we just got, and a gear tier increase that goes along with it. So level 105, gear tier 20 is what I would expect our characters need to be for Professor X. However, because it is 60 missions with increasing difficulties, I don't think all of our characters are going to need to be level 105, gear tier 20. That is just a gut feeling I have. I still want to be prepared if that is the case, but that's just my gut feeling right now. So what does this mean? This means that I'm no longer going to be mass leveling characters, because depending on the various traits, and let's be super generous, because it's been, what was Dark Dimension 8? There was like 2 nodes for each trait or something silly like that, right? Let's say each trait gets 5 nodes. That would still be 12 traits total. 60 characters, right? I don't think, or there'd probably be some overlap. Let's dumb it down to like 40 characters. I don't think Scopely is business suicidal enough to try and say, for Professor X, you guys need to have 40 gear tier 20 characters. I just don't think that's going to be the case. And we have some reason to believe that is kind of where they're heading. This is the Dark Dimension 8 map. And if we look at the first opening nodes, like we see the characters are level 85, right? And the second node after that, they weren't much bigger. They were level 90. And then the third node after that, they were 95. Like these nodes were super easy. And if we look at, like, it didn't really get to, like even the city villain nodes, even though the characters were level 100, they were not very beefy. It wasn't until we get to like the legendary global hero section that characters kind of started getting really scary. I just think that's going to be the case here. So along with saving my cores to go hard on the Starjammer team, which although it's not going to help me get a bigger Lilandra, killed the biggest part of that video. I'm still salty about it. You're not going to make me not be salty about it. I'm going to be saving a lot of my gold going forward. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I'm going to be leveling up the Patriot characters when I get them. I just don't see them solving anything crazy for my immediate needs. I'm sure I'll need to use them in war. I'm sure there'll be events this patch where I'm going to need to use them in war. I'll find clever ways to sprinkle them in a bunch of other teams to get use out of them. I think I'll be able to do that. I was never going to get them at 5, 6, 7 stars anyway. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sold on it though. I might build them up just so I have that feather in my cap for war. But I could just start saving my gold to make sure that I can level whatever traits I actually need for Professor X to be 105. And most importantly, have gold ready for the gold store. If you are new to Dark Dimensions, for the most part, when they come out, the primary place you're going to be getting these mini uniques for Gear Tier 20 is going to be in this gold store. These are 400k right now. One mini unique for Gear Tier 20 might come in here at 800k, might come in here for 1 million. Not so sure how that's going to be, but we'll see how it goes. So that's like too long, didn't read. I'm pissed they made me scrap a video, but I stalled it long enough to make this video just as long. And I'm going to be saving my cores for Starjammers because it's a Crucible team, which technically it feels like there's only going to be 2 new characters to get shards on. Lilandra looks like she's going to be super earn by play accessible, which is something that they've never done before. And I just value that infinitely more than war. So saving my cores for Starjammers, saving my gold a lot more than I have been. I don't care too much about the Omega Red stars, which is the big reward for the 105 because I already maxed out the 4 yellow stars I have for being free to play. And I'd rather just be ready for Professor X because if you guys don't know, these mythical characters like Odin, like Mephisto, like Super Skrull was, like Apocalypse was, they are meta-defining in the most extreme way. They will dictate your arena, of course. They can also be if you don't have me and you face against somebody who does in Crucible, you lose. When you didn't have Mephisto and you face off against somebody who does have Mephisto in Crucible, that sucks. That super duper sucks. So I'm going to be trying to get as ready for Professor X as much as I can. There's a reason to be a little bit mad. I do know 2 content creators made videos about this, which is probably what you thought this video was going to be about. Season 13 of Cosmic Crucible will kick off matchmaking next Thursday, and the first trial will begin on Friday. This will be the cadence for at least Season 13. So they're moving Crucible from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I guess like Sunday to Wednesday, to Thursday to Sunday instead. Or Friday to Sunday instead. Whatever the case may be. I don't know. I understand why a lot of people are upset about this. I get that as a content creator, like, especially the content creators that have families or are degenerates during the weekend, you don't want to make content on the weekend. I personally want to go to my parents' condo and go swimming with my boys. I want to go sledding with the kids. I want to have dinner, watch a movie with the wife. I want to relax and do stuff like that. I want to work during the weekdays like everybody else does, right? I understand why people are upset about that. I also understand why like really, really avid Crucible watchers, Crucible enjoyers are also mad about the swap. I totally get it because you get used to a certain entertainment that you might be having during those days, or you just get used to, this is when I get to do my Crucible. This is when we all get together, theorycraft stuff and play it. Well, now that it's going to be moving back to the weekend, because that's where it initially was, maybe some people that you theorycraft with aren't going to be around during that time. You're not going to be able to watch as many Twitch people because there's not going to be as many people streaming it. I understand all that frustration. I also understand what Scopely's doing. It comes back to this, right? They're going from 3 wars per week to 2. The 3rd war will be removed. The 3rd war being the later war. If you're in Zone 1, that's Friday. If you're in Zone 4, it's Saturday morning. They're getting rid of the weekend wars, so they're going to fill in that gap of content with Crucible. I understand what they're doing. I think the vast majority of the community is going to be unaffected, except that they're probably just going to miss their first week of Crucible because they will forget that the times are switched. I don't know how this will go. I honestly, as far as content creation goes, I don't know. I don't know if there's more people that want to watch Crucible weekdays during the day or weekdays at night than there will be people that want to watch it weekends at night, because there's a lot of people that will probably want to get drunk and watch me rage out when I get beat by somebody who spent a little bit more money than me, or because I listened to chat and I lost. Those are the only 2 reasons I've ever lost, by the way. I've only ever lost because somebody outspent me, dirty Krakens are cheating with their wallets, and taking advice from somebody else. I've never actually been at fault for anything in my entire life. Ever. Okay, that's it for this video. Later, nerds. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.